Boxing is the one sport where the Philippines can count on medals in international competitions, especially in the Olympics. And here to join us tonight in studio, the man from the Association of Boxing Alliances of the Philippines, or ABAP, Secretary-General Marcus Jarwin Manalo. Prof. Marcus, good evening and thank you so much for joining us here on the Scorecard.
Good evening and thanks for having me.
You've been a very busy man, sir. I see you all over the news, in the pictures. How was your experience in Paris?
It's unbelievable, certainly memorable. Anytime you go to the Olympics, the pinnacle of sporting excellence, it's always memorable.
Prof. Marcus, your background is mental health. You worked with so many different teams. This was obviously a different challenge for you and now a different role as the Secretary-General of ABAP. Since 1932, the Philippines has been competing in the event of boxing in international competitions. And I would say like more than 55% of our medals in the Olympics nanggaling sa boxing yan. So para sa'yo, how does ABAP continue to produce results in terms of sending quality boxers to these competitions?
Unfortunately, the elusive gold is not yet among the medal list, but I feel like we have a good talent pool coming from the provinces. The grassroots program is still an area to improve on for us, but I think maraming active na boxing programs in the provinces na dun kami nakakakuha ng magandang talent. And then obviously, once they're with the national training pool ready, then we provide them the necessary support like training camps, exposure in international tournaments. We have a sports science team to support them. So I think we were able to provide substantial support to our boxers.
Wow, so parang ano pala to, collegiate recruitment. You really scout these boxers in the provinces.
Yes.
Okay.
We have Palarong Pambansa and Philippine National Games, Batang Pinoy. And then this year, we're also gonna have our own national tournament. So maraming ways to recruit.
And yung national tournament is backed by ABAP?
Yes.
Yun. Okay. Yeah. So si Ira and si Nesty, dun sila nag-start?
Yes.
Like that's how you discovered them?
Yes. Galing sa mga grassroots programs talaga.
That's amazing. Now, obviously, in the Olympics, there were a lot of controversies, a lot of news involving the IOC and one of the boxing's governing bodies, the IBA. So, is there like a way, like is the Philippines going to be affected by this controversy? Because based on the reports, yung IBA is not recognized already by the IOC. So how is the Philippines affected by this?
Yes, definitely we're affected kasi as of now, we don't have boxing doesn't have an international federation that is recognized by the IOC. So because of that, we're not yet officially in the program for LA 2028.
Wow.
So talagang malaki yung impact, no? And ang IBA actually, the former IF the former International Federation of Boxing, hindi na sila yung nag-handle ng Tokyo Olympics pa lang. And also itong Paris Olympics. So the IOC is saying, we're not gonna facilitate another Olympics for boxing. So you have to have an international federation that we can trust, that we will recognize. And as of now, there's the World Boxing. The Philippines is already a member of it.
Okay.
So that's the new international federation that is seeking recognition from the IOC. So we're gaining momentum, but time is of the essence. Hopefully we get to a good number. Right now, we're at 44 members.
Okay.
So we need to get to 50 plus, and then we have to be able to show the IOC now we have the plans and programs to that is worth recognizing by the International Olympic Committee.
What's your gut feel, Sec-Gen? Do you think they can get this done para at least, di ba, magtuloy-tuloy na yung success natin in terms of boxing in the Olympics?
Yeah, I feel like we can get it done. Tayo mismo, yung Philippines, ABAP, as a national federation, we're working hard, we're coordinating with the international community with regards to recruiting more national federations to join World Boxing, and also when it comes to the plans and programs. So hopefully magbunga yung efforts natin and also the other national federations.
All right, Prof. Marcos, you've been in boxing for a decade, and I want to ask you a little bit about the history of ABAP with regards to women's boxing, because the Olympics only recognized women's boxing in 2012. So for ABAP, when did you start recruiting women's boxing or having women's boxers and training them for international competitions?
We've had women's boxers in the past, even before we got the opportunity to join the Olympics. Kasi even without the Olympics, there's the World Championships, there's the Asian Games, SEA Games. There are major international tournaments pa rin. Actually, si Nesty, for example, before she got into the Olympics, before she won the silver in Tokyo, she was already a world champion in 2019. And she was already a silver medalist in 2017 sa World Championship. So, kumbaga, and Josie Gabuco was another boxer that we had, was already a world champion in 2012. So, kumbaga, maganda na yung pinaperform ng mga women's boxers natin even in the past. So mas maganda lang, mas na-highlight lang yung achievements nila when they're able to compete at the Olympics. Obviously, again, the highest level of competition.
I read an article which included comments by Chairman Ricky Vargas of ABAP, and he was saying that gold talaga is the goal for Los Angeles. What do you think ABAP will do to make that happen? Will the boxers compete in more international competitions? How can they get better to secure that elusive goal that you mentioned?
Yeah, we're going to continue with our program when it comes to having the sports science team and more international exposure, both training camps and tournaments. We're gonna continue that. No? Unfortunately, boxing, as I call it, it's an open skill. Meaning you have an opponent in front of you. Every fight day is a new one. So it's not a close skill na you have a particular routine or a particular weight that you need to carry. Tapos okay na yun. So boxing talaga very tricky.
Yeah.
Then you add pa the judges, the factor of the judging. Then masyado maraming factors involved. No, but obviously. We're gonna be evaluating also our performance. Kasi there are still a lot of things that were under our control. Now we could have done better. So babalikan namin yon, and then we're gonna continue progressing from there.
Sec-Gen, I want to talk about one of the issues that was very much talked about in the Olympics regarding the Algerian boxer. I mean, Khalif, and it started when she had that boxing match against Angela Carini, and Angela Carini felt that the punches were too hard. So what are your thoughts regarding that? There was also some disagreements between the IOC and IBA regarding that. What are your thoughts?
I think we have to put into context muna yung IBA kasi si Emaine, Khalif, and then the Taipei boxer, si Yun Li Ting, they were disqualified from the IBA World Championships last year.
Yes.
Last year pa. And so, nung pagdating ng Olympics, medyo nag-ingay ulit si IBA. No? So, because they have no involvement with the IOC already.
Yeah.
So, importante na matingnan din yung angle na yun. No? But I think the issue remains na, there are some athletes with differences in sexual development or DSD. Or yung iba, ang term is hyper-androgynous female athletes. Mataas than ordinary yung kanilang testosterone levels, which could have an unfair advantage over competition. No? So merong ganong usapin. And dun sa Olympics, no, si Algerian boxer at si Taipei boxer, technically they did not violate any rules.
Yes.
Kasi si IOC, wala rin silang existing guidelines when it comes to gender testing. No? Si IBA rin, kailangan lang natin balikan, hindi rin clear kung anong testing yung ginawa nila. Okay. So was it chromosome, was it testosterone? So hindi rin clear yung mga statements nila about it. But I think moving forward, we have to look at existing research evidence and decide what we need to do. Kasi athletics na siguro yung isang international federation na inaral talaga ng husto to. And they have existing policies. Like, if they have athletes with DSD and Sorry kung medyo technical. But if functional yung kanilang androgen receptor, ibig sabihin sensitive, and they could gain advantage from having abnormally higher levels of testosterone, meron silang policy na kailangan malimit yon to like 5 nanomoles per liter, which is lower than average testosterone para sa lalaki. So if you're a female athlete na with DSD, dapat malimit mo yung testosterone levels mo. So that's something na I think World Boxing or IOC has to consider also moving forward. Na kasi yes, merong genetic advantages naman talaga ang mga athletes, di ba? Whether that's basketball or volleyball, di ba? Some are taller, some have longer arm span or wingspan as we call it. Some have naturally higher lung capacity, so mas mataas yung kanilang oxygen carrying capacity. So may mga genetic advantages naman talaga yung mga elite athletes. But ito, we have to consider na, kasi lalo na with boxing, kasi ito, you're not just gonna break world records like in swimming or athletics. Dito, yung welfare ng boxer yung nakataya. If meron talagang unfair advantage na nakukuha from abnormally high testosterone level. So it's really something that the boxing organizations have to look at.
And the IOC was very firm in saying that Khalif was born a female, she has a female passport, and she has competed in all of her international competitions as a female, which is why they stood by her competing as a female all throughout.
Yep.
Prof, thank you so much for the time. Once again, Secretary-General of ABAP, Marcus Jarwin Manalo, here tonight on The Scorecard. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks for having me.